Good boy. Well done. Good lad. Good lad. Heel. 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 Right. So in today's episode, we're talking about two things that I never deliberately teach and that come as byproducts of what I'm doing. So the first was that heel work. Here. Sit. The first one is heel work, teaching the dog to walk to heel off the lead. I never deliberately teach that. That is a byproduct of all the drill work, like you might have seen in my last video. And the second thing is sit and stay. I don't ever teach sit and stay. Now that sounds a bit funny, but basically I'm just putting my retrieving lead on. Basically, because I'm always disguising something through something else. So in this case, it's going to be through a retrieve. Now, because I'm getting the dog focusing on the retrieve, and I have covered this in another video before, I can actually trick the dog into staying sat, which would be stay. Now, one of the things that I'm always telling people, I don't use the word stay ever. It's just sit. If my dog moves out of a sat position, my dog is not sat. So I don't create another word for the first word that they're not doing. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I mean first of all. So this is my preferred method. And as I said, I've actually made a video on this before. What I mean by this is that if I put a retrieve down, and I've taught my dog to retrieve, and that's the very, very first thing you see me do with all my dogs. All I'm ever doing is retrieving at the beginning. Because if I get a good retrieve, I can use it as a catalyst to disguise a lot of other bits of training. So, you might have seen in my last video, I was doing what I call the 3-card trick, back retrieve, lefts and rights. At a more basic level, if, for example, my dog can do a back retrieve, so I've got a retrieve on the ground, and I turn and walk away, and then sit the dog up with his back to the retrieve, he doesn't want to come towards me, okay? Because he actually wants to go back for that back retrieve. He was very close to going then. Okay, so very quickly, whilst I'm working, see, I haven't actually done this distance with him yet, but as you progress the retrieving, this works. But basically, I can work my way away from the dog very, very quickly. Good boy. Good boy. Well done, Rio. Okay, so because that retrieves behind him, he wants to go get that. Now, most dogs are a bit insecure at the beginning, so if you back off them just on making them sit and stay, often they'll want to creep towards you. But he doesn't want to creep towards me because he desperately wants to get that retrieve. So if I turn around again and show you, sit. So because he knows that's there and he wants to go get it, as I move back, that's pulling him into the ground. So I don't actually teach the sit and stay, as I said. As I progress, Rio, come on. As I progress my retrieving and this 3-card trick, which you will have seen in last week's video if you watched it, as I get better and better, sit and doing further backs, left, right, back. He's not even realising. Good boy, Rio. I know this is a bit difficult. He's not even realising that I've slowly created a bigger gap between me and him. So he is learning to sit and stay as a byproduct of a more complicated drill. Okay? The other bit that I showed you right at the beginning when I was walking him at heel, good boy, good boy, good boy. Because I do lots and lots of little bits of heel, sit, throw, retrieve, out, back, turn, walk to heel again, sit, all the time he is learning as a byproduct of a more complicated drill, such as the 3-card trick or 2-card trick or even just a back retrieve. He is constantly learning to walk to heel without that. So if I take the lead off now, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. Heel, heel, good boy, good boy. Still have to work hard because he's only 15 weeks. Good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy. Sit. You can go wrong at any point, but because I've done so much of this, good lad, good lad, good lad, good lad, good lad. He's a good boy. Come on, good boy. He's done so much of this already with the lead on. Heel, sit, back, left, right, all these other bits. He's just learned to walk to heel off the lead. Now, I'm not testing at the moment. I've just shown you there. Let's pick up this dummy. I've shown you there. I won't be constantly doing that. I will carry on using my retrieving lead deep, deep, deep into my training. So it'll be so ingrained in him at that point that he won't question anything. So I've never taught him, I've never set out on either of these two movements, the sit and stay, and the heel off the lead. I've never spent any time just working on that as an individual thing. Both those parts are coming as byproducts. And as hopefully if you watch him through his training, As he progresses, he will get better and better and better. And the deeper into training I go using my retrieving leads, whether it's for handling, hunting, whatever it may be, once I get to 8, 9 months, he won't know any other way of doing it. And so, yeah, so you end up with a really neat little dog. Right, so if you are just going to teach sit and stay without a retrieve, there are some key points. First of all, you only want to increase the distance out that you're stood from the dog very, very slowly. If you increase the distance out too quickly, typically they will end up moving and you'll have recurring issues again and again. So, come here, come on, sit. So, first of all, you must be able to walk the dog at heel, make the dog sit by your side. I then always want to turn and face the dog first. So the dog is facing me, I'm facing them. And typically this is all I start off with. So the dog sat facing me, sit, good boy, sit. Now there's no tension in the lead, guys. I'm not pulling on the lead, it's never ever taught. One of the things that I always talk about with my clients is there's never any point where there's continuous pressure through the lead. I want complete slack. So we're going to turn around, we're going to go back the other way, and you want to do this over weeks. Don't try and rush it. So we've got the sit, we're going to turn and face him. Keeping the flat of my right hand up, sit, good boy, sit. And I'm literally going to add about that much at a time. And then I might walk the dog on again. Good lad, good lad. Keeping the dog up with me, good boy, good boy. I do it the other way, sit, turn and face him. And then each time, make sure you pull the lead through your hand so there's no pressure on the lead. And then you can just take a little step back, little bit step back. And I will gradually, by the way, I go back to the dog side and then I say heel to move off. I never rush the stages in between, by the way. So I'll make the dog sit first, then I'll turn and face the dog. I'll have 5 or 6 seconds facing the dog. Might include taking a step back. Then I go back to the dog. Then I go back to the dog side. And all the time, the dog must maintain that sat position. Not wait, not stay, as I said earlier, just sit. Okay? And what you're looking to do is just add very small amounts of distance at a time. And this is where a longer retrieving lead or a longer training lead is useful, because it means you don't have to let go of the lead. It gives you that confidence to do it, and you can just gradually. I'm talking about doing this over weeks. Couple of inches here, couple of inches there. If the dog gets up, just take the dog back to the spot where they were at. Where they were at, sit them up again. And rather than going straight back to the distance, let's say you were before when the dog made the mistake of moving, on the next one, just turn and face the dog. Just do the most simple, easy sit. Good boy, sit, good boy. Go back to his side and then move on. Don't try and do the same distance you did before, because if they go wrong again, you get caught in the spiral of mistake, mistake, mistake. So with anything that I'm ever doing, if a dog makes a mistake, I normally put the dog back or go back to what it was I was doing, but I make the next version of it so easy that the dog can't fail. And that really is a key point there. So hopefully that makes sense. So hence why in a lot of my videos, you will always see me using retrieving leads. Even though the dogs don't necessarily need them, I use them. And the longer I keep using them, the better that end result is. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. That makes sense. If you have any questions, stick them in the description below. If you're getting a new puppy like Rio, or you've got one and you're looking for some help and support, maybe look at doing my online training, which is all done through WhatsApp. You can send me a message over on our Facebook page, Hampshire Spaniel Training. Any training products you see me using, you can go through to our other page, Spaniel Training Kit, where you can send me a message on there and I can send you through a price list. Anyway, nice cool morning this morning, so we're going to get on and do some training. He's eager to go, so we're going to go, Rio. We're a bit keen to get going. Anyway, guys, don't forget, happy training.